Good evening. My name's Laura Egan, and I'm here with Terry Bradclaw. Tonight we will be exploring the culture of the Pittsburgh Steelers, its fan base, and one very special artifact that represents this culture. Being a part of this culture is often something you were born into and learn to love. It is a large family made up of fans, players, coaches, and the family that started it all. We call ourselves Steeler Nation as the family is nationwide. There are Facebook groups, Steelers themed restaurants, bars, and of course those in-person games at Heinz Field. Although our safe place is amongst other Steelers fans, we are often communicating with others outside of the culture, whether it be someone from outside of the football culture or those of another football team fan base. Within the culture, we are also communicating with a remarkably diverse group of people, as the fans themselves come from all walks of life and frequently interact with each other on social media or at games or just out and about in town. I often run into people that if we're both wearing Steelers gear, we'll stop and talk to each other about the game or, who was drafted this season. This culture applies to our definition as basically it's ever changing. You never know which players you're going to get, which players are going to stay, which players are going to leave. Although the Steelers have been pretty consistent with like their coaches and such, there's only been 3 different coaches since 1969. Art Rooney Sr. launched the Pittsburgh Steelers in 1933, and the team has remained within the Rooney family ever since, with his son Dan Rooney taking control in 1988, and later his grandson Art Rooney II, who is the current owner. This alone has afforded the team and its fan base the stability often sought after in any society or culture. The Steelers team would likely not be where it is today without the support of its fan base or culture. As one of the winningest teams in the NFL, there comes a high level of expectation for players, coaches, and the like. Many in Steeler Nation hold themselves in high regard as loyal fans, often stating PS4L, which stands for Pittsburgh Steelers for Life. Myron Cope was a sports broadcaster who is known as the voice of Pittsburgh. He contributed an important staple within this culture. In 1975, he encouraged the fans to bring yellow rags or dish towels to the games as a way to pump up the crowd and get the players going. While it may be superstitious, it seemed as though the team always made great plays or won games when the fans were waving these towels. Thus, bringing me to my artifact, is Myron Cope's official terrible towel, which was born in 1976. Over the years, the terrible towel has taken on many variations. Pink towels for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, towels laden with shamrocks to acknowledge the large Irish American fan base, as well as honor the Rooney family, Halloween towels, and many others. These are often waved at the games like this. Well, I can't really do it, but you get the point. The culture is not shy of slang, with sayings like, "Here we go, Steelers, here we go." That's kind of a chant to get everybody pumped up and kind of start plays or start the game. The steel curtain is a reference to the defensive line in the 1970s. The bus, which a lot of you may still recognize, is running back Jerome Bettis. He's often makes cameos in movies and such. And oftentimes, especially when I go home to Pittsburgh, I'll see like buses that fans turned into like man caves or tailgating buses, and they call it the bus, and it's usually like a remade school bus. Big Ben was the nickname given to our current quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. Popular jargon includes touchdown, probably the most important part of football culture, as it means the team scored 6 points. With a field goal to follow, the kicker punts the ball through the field post for 1 extra point, or the less likely 2-point conversion, which the Steelers, well, particularly their head coach, Mike Tomlin, is a fan of. They usually get quite a bit of extra points with the 2-point conversion. And that's where the teams line up at the goal line in an attempt to cross the goal line for 2 extra points instead of just 1 extra point. I would hope that the terrible towel gives others outside of the culture an appreciation for being a part of something larger than themselves, because the terrible towel signifies something much larger than an incredible play or a won game. It signifies unity amongst the Steeler Nation. Just as Seahawks fans came together in 2011 to make the ground shake in what is affectionately known as the Beast Quake, the terrible towel is somewhat of a security blanket. I mean, at least for me, it's not just an affiliation to a sports team. It is a connection to my home state and my immediate family. The Steelers culture is not a fair weather culture. Many of us are born into it and remain within the culture for life. Common stereotypes that we face are, the Steelers are proud owners of 6 Super Bowl championship rings. So a common misconception is that we must be fair weather fans, meaning we only like the team because they are winners. This is entirely not true. The Steelers have had their fair share of losses, and part of what makes this culture so stable is its fan base. In my own experience, I have been told that it's easy or it must be nice to like a winning team. There were times in my life where I didn't reveal being a Steelers fan because I didn't want to hear the barrage of reasons why I should or shouldn't be a fan of the team. We often get called cheaters because, if some of you may remember that Super Bowl against the Seattle Seahawks where the refs were making a lot of calls in favor of the Steelers and they ended up winning the game. That's a common stereotype that we're cheaters, or we must have picked them as our favorite team because they win a lot. It's totally not like that. Like, I was born into this culture as I'm from Pennsylvania, a small town just north of Pittsburgh. And I literally just grew up with Steelers everything. Anyway, this is a life for me, and for a lot of us, something that is ingrained in our being. I was born into this culture and will die a member of it. As Ben Roethlisberger said earlier this year, I will always bleed black and gold. So that's just a short snippet of the Steelers culture. Really, anywhere you go, you can see Steelers stickers, Steelers license plates, Steeler just memorabilia of all kinds. If you have any questions, go ahead and comment on my video. Otherwise, thank you for listening. Bye.